Open spaces are one of our planet's greatest natural resources. They inspire us. They are critical to our planet's health. But today, these very places face unprecedented threats. Louis Bacon has been a leader in the fight to protect the planet's natural resources by his work to protect threatened open spaces. Through his More Charitable Foundation, he supports a multitude of environmental organizations that work to conserve land, water, and wildlife across the nation and the globe. The More Foundation has partnered with Audubon to protect one of our most imperiled birds, the piping plover. His funding also launched Audubon's Long Island Bird Conservation Program, which protects critical bird habitats along the Atlantic Flyway. He was the founding sponsor of the Waterkeeper Alliance, which replicated the successful Hudson Riverkeeper model, propelling an international movement of over 200 collaborative organizations defending water bodies across the world. 20 years ago, he began his signature practice of placing environmental easements that prohibit development on important habitats when he permanently protected Robbins Island, a 400-acre bird sanctuary in the center of Long Island's Peconic Bay. But that's just the start.
Louis, in the tradition of Teddy Roosevelt, has put the conserve back into conservatism. He considers it conservation of the environment, of nature, as the centerpiece of conservative ideology. One of the big battles that Louis funded was right in the middle of that wheelhouse, which is the battle to save Clifton Key in the Bahamas. It was going to be a high-intensity development that would shut off the beach from the thousands, tens of thousands of people, of native Bahamians who use that beach. It would have also destroyed probably one of the best-known coral reefs in the world. And Louis really single-handedly decided to stand up and save that beach on behalf of the Bahamian public. And today, as a result of his work, Clifton Key is a national park, and it's protected forever on behalf of the people of the Bahamas, but also the birds and the wildlife. He's been, one of the most effective supporters and influential supporters that we have in the Waterkeeper movement. Louis grew up hunting and fishing, and he grew up with the idea, with this notion that nature belongs to all the people, that it's not something that it's part of our democracy.
Louis has protected critical expanses of some of our planet's most important natural habitats. In Colorado, he led a coalition determined to stop an energy company from constructing unnecessary industrial transmission lines across the immense San Luis Valley's viewscapes. Winning the 4-year battle gave Louis the opportunity to partner with Interior Secretary Ken Salazar to create the longest protected wildlife corridor in the lower 48 states by donating the 167,000-acre easement that launched Salazar's Sangre de Cristo Conservation Area. His 260 square miles of Colorado landscape, an area 8 times larger than the island of Manhattan, is the largest conservation easement ever donated to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. This keystone property, the Trinchera Blanca Ranch, showcases every one of Colorado's ecological tiers, from wet grassy valleys to high plains desert, from subalpine forests to alpine tundra, and its weather-ravaged peaks. The property includes Mount Blanca, the 4th highest in the Rocky Mountains. Protecting this remarkable property represents a significant victory for wildlife, Colorado, and the nation.
Here is a man who's dedicated himself to business, his family, but more importantly to the country. The innovation that Louis has brought to conservation is unmatched by any other landowner that I know in the U.S.
Louis recently acquired Orton Plantation in his native North Carolina. Built by his forebear, Roger Moore, in 1725, Orton is perhaps his most personal conservation initiative. His family's frequent skirmishes there with the English crown over colonial taxation led King George II to label them those pestiferous Moors. This family trait of resistance to vested interests carried through to Lewis T. Moore, his grandfather and namesake. As director of Wilmington's Chamber of Commerce, Bully Moore, as he was known, fought to preserve Wilmington's Old Town District, its antebellum homes, and monumental live oaks. Lewis's present-day conservation battles against polluters and developers continue this family legacy of purposeful defiance. It was in Norton's rice fields in the early 20th century that Audubon's iconic symbol, the great egret, found its colony's final refuge, protected there from the market hunters who nearly shot the magnificent birds into extinction. After winning a 2-year regulatory battle, Lewis is now able to harden the original revetment, whose continuing deterioration left it months away from being breached and submerged into the Cape Fear River. This key victory also has allowed him to replant these 300-year-old rice fields and realize his dream of returning his family's Orton plantation to a refuge for migratory waterfowl. He is embarking on an ambitious project with the property's 8,500 upland acres, restoring its native longleaf pine forest that provides safe harbor for the endangered red-cockaded woodpecker, amongst other threatened wildlife.
The Audubon Medal is one of the world's highest honors in conservation. Only 51 people have received it, including Rachel Carson, Ted Turner, and my twin brother, Robert Redford. The 52nd recipient is a worthy addition to that list. And while he may resemble Pierce Brosnan a bit more than Redford, his conservation philanthropy is an inspiration to all who understand the importance of leaving the world better than we found it.
Lewis, I've known you for over 30 years. And through that time, I don't have a single friend who's been as steadfast as you in loving the outdoors, loving nature, and trying to preserve our natural heritage for future generations. You're the one that told me that the most precious resource that the world will come to realize, if they haven't already, is going to be bare, virgin earth that we can hold unspoiled for future generations. That will be our heritage to our kids. You've been the best steward I know. God bless you for being the brilliant leader and pioneer that you've been.